Embrace the jank, my friends. That is the lesson of the day. You might hear me say that quite a few times. I'm diving into some budget builds for the more common decks that you see played around these days. So let's start with Budget Boros, or what I call White Weenie, just because it's funner that way. And we'll take a look at what I've got. Now, you should be able to build this deck with just a handful, and I mean just a handful of wild cards. Maybe one or two, maybe four at the most. So let's take a look. I've got 2 Healer's Hawks. These come in the collection. 4 Leonin Vanguards. Those pair nicely with my Ajani's Pridemate. And that's kind of the root of the deck here. It's red-white, so I'll go 4 Shocks also. 1 Integrity and Intervention, because I only have 1. But I embrace the jank. So it doesn't have to be 4 ofs in all of the common Boros cards that you have. You don't have to have all the mythics. You don't have to have all the super rares. It would help. It would be a totally different deck if I did. I just don't have the card base because I'm all free to play, and I'm okay with that. 3 Ajani's Pridemates. Not sure why there isn't 4, but there's only 3. We're also okay with that. 3 of a Seal Away. 2 Justice Strikes. I did get one of those as a wild card one day to go along with the one that I got, so I do have 2 of those. 1 Legion Guildmage. 1 Swiftblade Vindicator. Again, these come in your collection, so I just threw them in there. 1 Danitha. 1 Mentor of the Meek. So this is the only card draw engine that we have. But if you, like I said, if you embrace the jank, it does get a little janky, but you do find ways to win, and it's a lot of fun. 3 Militia Buglers. Those just help me dig for any creature I want, except for 1. 3 Legion War Bosses. Again, Legion War Bosses, you might have to make one of these. I did get one in a pack recently. These are super cool. I do have a risk factor, so there's only 1 in the deck, so I threw it in there. Chance for Glory. This card is super awesome. I've used it. Now, I will say that I have used this to win games before, but I didn't rely on it to win the game. So, it is what it is. It's just in there for fun. 3 Skyknight Legionnaires. I think these all come with your collection, but they're commons anyway, so if you do have to make a couple, it shouldn't be too bad. Heroic Reinforcements. This is pretty much my kill card. Pretty much. You get 3 of these in the deck, the red-white deck that you get handed to you, so you don't even have to make those. 1 of a Truefire Captain. This card's pretty awesome, but in this deck it's hard to cast because the mana base. The lands kind of get in the way of these dual-color decks, like the Selesnias, the Boroses, the Izzets. They're just hard to make for free-to-play accounts. 9 Plains, 8 Mountains, 4 Boros Guildgates, and 1 Clifftop Retreat. Again, that's all I got. So I'm running 22 lands versus the other, whatever the math is on the card, 22 lands. Now here's something else that I do with my decks. I try and follow sort of a formula where I have about 9 in the 1-drop, 16 in the 2 and the 3s, but sort of a balance there. I try and do like 8 and 8 if I can, and then 11 cards that are 4 or more. So it ends up being like 9, 8, 8, 11. That's my formula. Or close to it. So in this deck, I've got 23 in the 2 and the 3 drop. It's a little heavy, particularly in the 3 drops, but it's all I have right now. So if I was actually going to modify this deck, that's where I would start, and with a land base. But let's see how it plays. I'll kind of show you guys how this deck can win, and it's fun. Like, if you're not having fun, you're not doing this right. So for me, this is a fun way to win and to try out some of the decks. I can't do Dimir just yet, but I'm working on Selesnya, I'm working on Golgari, working on it. I won't be able to do Dimir until I do the big box opening, so make sure you subscribe so you get the notice for the big 36-pack day that'll happen here in a couple weeks. Pretty good opening hand. I think we'll go Swiftblade into a Legion War Boss. That'll be kind of fun to do, so let's see what happens. This deck ends up fizzling out, so if we're playing against any kind of halfway good control deck here, this might not work out very well. But we'll see what we got. Or the mirror, or other burn, so if they like do a mountain into a shock on my Leonin Vanguard, it may not work out very well. Or if they're doing like a blue tempo deck, but we'll see. We'll see. If I can get my Vindicator mentored up to a 2/2, it ends up being pretty cool. Or Danitha. Danitha wins games on her own. Now we've got to make a decision. I'm going to go with Danitha. And your Vindicators hit pretty hard. In the professional, like tier 1 Boros decks, you're running 4 Vindicators. Oh, you... Aha! See? Lost my Danitha. Held on to my Legion War Boss. Be careful. When you attack, if you hit the Goblin first, it changes to 1 attack instead of attack all. That used to get me all the time, so I'm just used to the button being there. So pro tip, on your Legion War Bosses or anybody who must attack, you've got to manually click through your attackers. And you also Nickel Bolas. Well, alright, so this might not be a good example of what we can do here with this deck, but let's play through this and see what happens. We do have some answers for flyers, like Seal Away. Oh boy, that's a great set of cards there. And at this point I can hit him for 1 every turn. He can't flip Bolas, that's kind of hard to do. So if I get any one of my enchantments that, well, I've got Ixalan's Binding, Hieromancer's Cage, Seal Away. If he attacks I can seal him away. If he does anything else I can... I'd like to bind it, really is what I'd like to do.
This will be... Oh, I made you a gift.
22 lands in the deck. All I can draw are lands. Yeah, we're just gonna go face. And we're obviously playing against a much better deck at this point. I don't see how this works out for us, but we'll see. Artifice Master, that's the one that comes with the welcome deck, the $10 Core 19 Planeswalker deck. I don't think he's going to attack. I think he's going to wait to try and flip him. He's killing the Guildgate. I'm fine with that. I don't need it. But he must need it for something else. He must have a 2 black. The risk factor, see what happens. I think he's going to take the 4. He's really at no risk to let me draw cards if he takes 4. I mean, the chances of me drawing into something I really need are really high. I just don't think he would do that. Yep. Attack. He's a couple turns away from popping his Tezzeret. I would have loved to draw into something that would have helped, like a Justice Strike. I mean, a lightning shock wouldn't really do it, but if I drew a shock, I'd attack with all these and then shock him to death. And again, next turn I can also risk factor. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, he's gonna... See, does he think I have more risk factors? I only got 1, buddy. I wonder what he's gonna get. Gosh, this is a crazy deck he's got. I think the only uncommon is Golden Demise. So on a budget, he took my risk factor. That's all he did. Kind of an expensive risk factor removal. Now he realizes how janky this is, and he's like, oh, I'm not worried. He's going to start attacking soon. He's using this for card draw. He doesn't care if I discard. But now he can't counterspell. With any luck, I get a decent draw here.
I learned a few tricks on Kaladesh.
It's not that good. But let's attack. Let's just see what we get out of this deal. But we can't all attack. It's just not going to let us do it. All face, 4 attackers. We'll mentor the little guy. It's automatic. I hope he accidentally lets it all through and I can shock him to death. But he's not gonna. He'll block down everything. And then he's gonna pop Tezzeret, which gives me still 1 more turn. No, it's the beginning of his end step. Oh, that's tricky. Doesn't give me 1 more turn, not at all. Yep. I'm gonna quick Boros. There's no point in me hanging on to that shock for any other reason, because he's got discards and he's going to make me give it up anyways. So, sort of a close game. Not really. He must have something like an opt holding priority. Here we go. He's going to get the 9th Tezzeret, or he might need to draw a card. If he draws a card, I think that works out for me. I think we're in good shape. He drops a bolus. I don't have to discard. He drops a blocker. That sucks. I don't think he's got him. He holds a... What are the odds he's got like a fiery cannonade or something that he's gonna... Oh, I might sneak away with one here. I've got 3 heroic reinforcements waiting to happen. You never know. Sometimes these games work out. It's a Leonin. Just gives me 1 more creature to attack with. That's it. Game. So embrace the jank. They just work out. You know, you don't have to have all kinds of mythics and rares in your deck, and then you get Re-Exclusion Mage. Look at that. And we'll see how this goes. You know, and I just built this. I've been playing with this for about 3 days. This deck idea, trying to get it to work, trying to like massage it to try and get the mana base right, trying to get the curve to work. It's tough. I'm having a tough time with Selesnya particularly. That's tricky. Oh, and it's a little slow. I've kept hands like this before, and it ends up being kind of slow, where I don't draw that 3rd land that I need. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna hang out onto it because I've only got a 1 of a Mentor the Meek in this deck, and it's such a strong card draw. And you draw through your deck. You get those heroic reinforcements. I really want to show you guys what that looks like. I mean, I have just annihilated people before with reinforcements. I even did one game. I did a reinforcements into a chance for glory, which gave me the next turn to win. It was awesome. I was super happy with that. Alright, so let's go with a Healer's Hawk. And I'm not going to shock the Stitcher Supplier because he's going to have other creatures that I need to save this shock for. Perhaps a Death Baron? Oh, he's going to trophy hunt me. Yeah, I'm not blocking. There's no way I'm blocking. See, and this happens. I'm not going to get that 3rd land for a couple turns. It's a little frustrating. But I've got enough to work with here, I think. I could seal away something, shock something. Got a couple of options before I have to start discarding. And at some point I will draw land. It's just a matter of when that land comes. There it is. And we're gonna go with Danitha first because she's a threat, and he will throw some things at her to get rid of her. And I would rather she takes the brunt of some removal and I'm gonna, of course, do that every turn. And then I can use my Mentor the Meek, and then my Mentor the Meek is sort of protected by Danitha just being a speed bump. Or she lives, and this is how this game is going to go. Cool. We're cooking. She first strikes, Vigilance, Life. This is a strong card. I didn't realize how strong Danitha was at first. Oh, yeah. Now the removal goes to the Pridemate, and I've got a Legion Warboss and a... This is what we're hoping for. This is best case scenario. Wait, he just got 11. Hang on. For each creature in your graveyard. So he must have had a lot of creatures in his graveyard. Because he's been discarding this whole time. That's pretty cool. I like that. But it's only 11. And I don't think I'm stuck at all. So let's get after him. He's gonna try and gang block, and I'm totally okay with that. I'm gonna put one on here. Because that's kind of a scary one. Good. And I'll take out 2 there. I'm totally fine with that. Are they Death Touch? They don't Death Touch, so that's good. Okay, now who do I want to save? I'm gonna save my Warboss. So we'll kill that one with the shock, which keeps my Warboss from taking 2, it only takes 1. He can't do anything about my Ajani. My Ajani's Pridemate. It's not actually Ajani. I'm gonna save my mana for Seal Away. Because, I mean, if he attacks me with all 6 of these, it's only 6 damage. If he drops an Anthem, gives him +1, then now we're talking, oh. He's got those guys. Ew, how frustrating. He's not attacking because he knows. Let's risk factor. This is a tough decision to make. I almost always pay the 4 life. Risk factor for me is a 3 damage, 3 mana, 4 damage card. Almost always. If he lets it through and I draw cards, yeah, that's what I thought. I'm gonna attack with both of these. So I think I'm about to take a whole bunch of damage on the crackback here, and he can't afford it. He's got to block. So I'm taking out his insects and healing up. So that's good. This is a bit of a janky deck too. I don't think he's got more than one. Well, you can't repeatedly cast him even if he's got one. That's not a tap ability. Ooh. Ooh, I do love the Eldest Reborn. Oh, I love it so much. That's one of my favorite cards ever printed. Alright, let's Let's see what happens. I don't want to use a seal away on Thousand Eyes. I'm going to let that through. I will take this time to seal away the Chupacabra. I would rather bind Ixalan's Binding on this guy, so he can't cast another one. I'm going to have to discard anyways. So I will play the Mentor of the Meek. And he's got a he gets priority every turn because of this ability here, gain a life and draw a card. I will do it. I get to choose what I discard. I will choose the Bugler. You'll see what I mean. Eldest Reborn's gonna make me discard. And then next turn I'm gonna have no choice but to throw the reinforcements at him. Yep. There goes a Bugler. See ya, bro. He might be planning these shenanigans again. And then what's he gonna get? I mean, not much. This is all. He's gonna get a Chupacabra, kill one of my dudes, and then start swinging in. Yeah, I have to. I've gotta go. Heroic Reinforcements. Draw a card. I'm gonna draw 2 cards, you betcha. For a red mana, thank you. The Skyknight Legionnaire. And we're gonna come after him pretty heavily. So now he's got to make some blocking decisions. He has to because he's so low on health. Unless he's got a Trophy Hunter. Because he can gang block my War Boss a couple of different ways. He wants the Stitcher Supplier to die. He's making that happen on purpose. But he knows if he just... And he can actually block down and kill Thousand Eyed. And then bring him back with the Eldest Reborn. That's what I would do. That's the play I would make right there. I'm just hoping to thin out his board state a little bit so I can get through and finish this game off. This is a pretty fun deck that he's playing, though. I like this. Oh, is he going to draw cards? Sacrifice the dudes. Draw the cards. I would have killed him. I would have put him up against the War Boss and killed him. But I think he forgot that he's going to have to pick a dude with the Eldest Reborn. Unless he's got a terrible vampire in here somewhere. This graveyard is just... I guess he could do a Thousand Eyed again anyways, right? He could do that and then override this one. That one would die and then he would get all those insects back, I guess. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. Now, if I was going to spend some wild cards on this deck, I would definitely throw in a Goblin Chain Whirler just to kill all 14 of those guys. He's going to get a card. Target permanent card? Yeah. Eldest Reborn's coming back. Nice. So good. It's such a fun card to play. I don't know, guys. I don't think this one's going to go our way. This is a game ender. The Queen.
Wherever I go, I leave bodies in my...
Now pay the 3, destroy the... Yeah, there. Oh, this guy knows what he's doing. Take out the Mentor or the War Boss. Your call. I only got one of... No, I've got 3 War Bosses in here, actually, so the Mentor's the stronger of those 2 there. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, this is not ideal. Let's seal that other guy away. Pridemate out instead. The Pridemate doesn't really do much. He'll block for sure. He doesn't want her to die. This is a game ender right here. Vraska. So strong. And at +2, sacrifice a permanent, gain a life, draw a card. This is... I can't recover. I'm going to lose my token. He's going to drop the Eldest Reborn. There goes my token. So, next turn, I can drop a Skyknight Legionnaire and then discard whatever I draw in favor of Risk Factor. See, he's not going to... There's no chance he lets me draw those cards because he can just... gain... Oh, rats. Oh, no. Oh, son of a gun. Okay. This got out of hand. This just got out of hand just now. It's 12 and 30. It's got 30. Oh, goodness sakes. Okay, that deserves props. Well done. See, but again, these Golgari decks like this are really hard to build without a lot of wild cards. You just need so many wild cards to make it good. Even these Eldest Reborns, I couldn't even make these. It takes 4 uncommon wild cards. You do get 2 Chupacabras, which is kind of nice in the collection. So this game is not going to go our way. So far, we're 1 for 1. Bye-bye, Legion Warboss. He's attacking 12. I'm sunk, buddy. I got nothing. I'm gonna block this Chupacabra out of spite. I'm pissed off at him. Oh boy. What are the odds? I don't have anything to deal with this in this deck at all. I got nothing. So let's Risk Factor, which he may not pay for this time. Although he might think I have a Chain Whirler. I don't. I don't have anything good in here. Maybe he's not worried about it. He no longer cares about what I can do. Ha. I have a 3/3. So this is a good example of a deck that will just overrun me if I don't get out there. Yeah, good game. We'll let you tell it, buddy. Good game indeed. Here we go. A Plague Crafter. Icing on the cake. Alright, so go ahead. Finish it off. It's all good. Any minute now. Oh, look, giant. Of course. Deals 1 damage, yeah. That's fine. -20. It's fine, but like I said, you got to embrace the jank. Sometimes it works, sometimes it just doesn't work. We'll do one more game, see how we do in a series of 3 games. Now, I don't do best of 3s against the same opponent because I don't have enough cards to build a sideboard. So for me, that's typically where the game ends up stopping or stalling out pretty good. Just because I'm not going to put any wild cards into a sideboard right now. It's not going to happen. An early chance for glory, that's fun. This is the card that you can take another turn after this one, but then at the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game, so you better win on that second turn. Or I really need something else going on with these Pridemates. Well, these guys are, it's going to look like the game's out of hand, and this guy's going to say, oh, this guy's going to lose Pridemates. And I'm not getting any life, they're not getting any bigger. I could just use them as 2/2s. Stranger things have happened and just go into heroic reinforcements. I could hit him for 4 and lose a Pridemate on purpose. I think I'll do that. I wouldn't even lose a Pridemate. He will surely block. I'm gonna hit him for 2, not 4. Attack him for 4. 2 of them. Oh, let's go a little slower. I I screwed by the auto tap. Dang it! I should have tapped mana on purpose for that. Let's attack with everybody. He blocks down 2 of them, and he takes 1. Oh, he gang blocked 1? He really wants to kill it. I mean, is it just me, or does heroic reinforcements potentially end the game next turn? He's got a counterspell. He is not doing well right now. He's at 8. I don't think he realizes what kind of health he's at. So he's trying to beef up his Enigma Drakes. Now they're 4/4s. He's drawing a card. Now they're 5/4s. He gets a Phoenix. Is he going to attack, or is he going to wait and see what I do? I'm going to do something crazy. He's out of mana. Check this out. I go into combat. We'll make my dudes 3/3s. They'll all attack. Yep. He blocks down my Pridemates. He doesn't block with his Phoenix because he wants it to live. Well, he does block with his Phoenix. I'm okay with that. Nope, didn't calculate this right at all. Maybe I did. I chance for glory. This is so funny. He quit. I wasn't gonna win. The math wasn't there. Oh boy. But, you know, it's kind of scary. Even though I'm playing with some janky cards. Every once in a while, you get lucky and you win. So, if you like what I'm doing here with these budget decks for Budget for the Arena, a little different than Budget for Paper, go ahead and subscribe. And you'll see a few more of these. The hardest one for me to get to is going to be Dimir, because there's just so many cards that you need. You got to build the whole set. They don't really give you any. But I will keep on it, and see you guys later. Thanks for watching.